So now, like, you're the guy. You're the guy that when they see it, they're like, oh shit. All right, I need to call him because I can't go to Pulte and get that, right? Like, so now it anchors you into that role even more.
I've got a few questions here to ask you. What I was wondering is the best way to advertise the new home builders. So for what I mean, for instance, is if I talk to a young lady at Pulte, right? And I want to say, hey, they have these great specials and all this kind of stuff. I don't really want to advertise Pulte because then the people will just go to Pulte.
So I think you're overestimating people's laziness, right? The reality is there's kind of two, is there a chance that someone's going to see Pulte and go to them? Yes. Is that likely if you're the one putting out the content? No. People who are driving around, if you're even remotely thinking about buying a house, you know who Pulte is, right? They're one of the largest builders in the world. They're going to see their signs. They're going to see their marketing. The key is most people become very religious to the person who brings them the most value when they're in that decision-making process, right? So the likelihood of someone, if you doing a video that explains a new program and them saying, you know what, that is a cool program, I'm gonna go directly to Pulte and learn, it just doesn't happen. Right? They're gonna click on you. Plus, people are lazy. I'm gonna go where my finger is, right? So if I'm here and you're there and I can click on you and reach out, that's what I'm doing.
Okay, so that makes perfect sense to me. And so if I go to Pulte and say, hey, I'd like to do a video with you so that you could explain your incentives and all that, then I can just take that and put it on the Facebook.
100%. And then now to even protect it even more is combine some of our other programs to kind of anchor yourself in there, right? So what I would potentially do is go and say, hey, maybe every week or every Saturday, every weekend, you do a video where it's you at a different new model home, right? And you're giving a tour of that new model home, and then you say, hey, by the way, if you partner this with our zero money down program, not only can you get cash back at closing, but I can literally get you into this brand new home with no money down. So if you have a good credit, right, be transparent. You need good credit to qualify for this program. But if you do, I want you to call me because we can get you into this brand new house here or any brand new house in the market for zero money down, right? Combine the program. Or, hey, have you decided, are you thinking about renting, but you're not quite there yet? Well, we actually have a client who will buy this house for you and rent it back to you and let you buy it from them in the next 12-month increments.
So show them more value than
use home partners, right? So now, like, you're the guy. You're the guy that when they see it, they're like, oh, shit. All right, I need to call him because I can't go to Pulte and get that, right? Like, so now it anchors you into that role even more. It's all about positioning yourself as the expert of new homes, which means everything you do needs to be branded around new homes, right? If that's truly what you want, I would go all in on it and say, okay, I'm gonna tour new homes. I'm gonna do a podcast with all of the builders and their salespeople, and I'm gonna be literally pretty much everything someone sees from me is new home related, right? The advantages of buying new versus buying old, and give real advantages. There's advantages and disadvantages to both. Be transparent about that, right? But explain the process. Explain why new construction loans are different. Explain how the incentives are oftentimes different. I would go all in on bringing consumer value. Now, the other flip side of that is you have the builders, right? And the builders are in the same boat. Builders just want to sell homes, right? They don't care if it's their own salesperson or you. They want you just as much as you want them. But the more value you can bring them and their people, the more likely they are to think of you when they have someone who needs to sell their house before they can buy, because they are not taking that listing. right? So when Joan and Jane come walking in to buy their new model, think, oh, but we got to sell our house on 123 Oak Street, right? That agent can't take that listing. So, but they need that house sold because they want that person to buy from them, right? So you want to be the person that they call to say, hey, I've got Joe and Jane in here. They've got to sell this house, right? Before they can buy it.
Is to show them value by
bring them value. What do they want? Yep. What do they need? So I would literally go to them and say, hey, how can I help? Right? What can you do? Do you guys need graphics? Do you want me to create some content and tag? Do you want to be in some content? I'm going to shoot it. Do you guys need commercials? What is it, right? How can I help? And let them tell you, and then go give them that, and become their best friend. From the builders is going to say, oh no, we're fine. No, you need to be persistent about it and say, no, seriously, what's your biggest challenge? Like, just what is it? Maybe I can help with it, maybe I can't. But like, what's going on with the development? Are you guys selling? Is it moving through? How many days on the market? Like, what can I do, right? Do you have one particular home in here or one lot that's not doing so well that you need extra help with? They all have unique challenges. They all are trying to figure out Facebook. They're all trying to do the same thing, right? And they're all struggling. So if you can solve that for them, that's the answer. That's why this big new developer in St. Pete is going to hire us and our agent to do all their listings, because they have no idea how to market and compete with it. So when she was able to go to them, I went to the meeting with her and said, hey, you want to build your brand as a developer, this is how we have to do it. Let's cut. Literally, we created a full strategy, full marketing and branding strategy for a developer that we don't work with, right, at the time. Gave them everything. I mean, I gave them like their entire marketing business plan and said, here's how you're gonna go build your brand as a developer. Now, if you'd like help doing that, then I would hire our agent here and we'll help you do it, right? And obviously they looked at it and realized that they couldn't execute on that themselves, hired her. We signed the deal on Friday, and now she's going to be their exclusive listing agent to go do all their properties, and we're going to help market and brand their development company, right? That's where the value needs to come in. What is missing? How do we fill that gap? And so we can do that. Like, I don't care how big Pulte is and all these other companies, they're coming to us now trying to figure out how can we co-market and how can you guys help us, because we have no idea what we're doing, right? They don't. They were so used to being able to just put these little flags on the ground and everyone would come running, and it's not that way anymore. Too much. There's too many options, right? And so what most people do is then they get overwhelmed. It's like going to the Cheesecake Factory, flipping through the menu, you're like, holy shit, there's 400 pages in here, right? Versus going to Chick-fil-A. Right? Why is Chick-fil-A so successful? Because it's simple. You have 6 options, pick one, right? So they need help. They all need help. So I think for any brand new developer that's building from the ground up, especially before it's built, I would be time-lapsing everything. Because if they can show, I would talk to them about time-lapsing their project, right? Set up a camera, because think about this. Everyone likes to know where they personally and where their stuff came from, right? So when a brand does a good job of telling that story, right? Why are so many people so into sports teams? Because we get to watch. They do such a good job of documenting their history, right? I know all about the Redskins before they were there, before I was even alive, right? I get to see their games. I get to learn about their history, so I feel part of it, right? Same thing with a house. Imagine now someone goes in a year from now to buy that house, and you're able to sit there and be like, hey, here's literally your house being constructed, right? From the ground, where it was nothing, and you showed them a time-lapse video of their home actually coming to life, and now they feel a part of that story of that house coming to life. They're so much more likely to buy that house, right? And no other developers doing that, no other builders showing them their home from start to finish. So it's those unique touch points that if you can start strategically partnering with them to give them some new ideas on how they're going to stand out from the rest of the developers going on, that's how they're going to win.
So that leads into my question about if, for instance, North River has probably 6 or 7 different developers in it.
Yep.
Do you go to each one?
Yep.
And same thing with each one of them,
yep.
right? And then you just
same
stagger
pitch.
it
yep.
on your advertising.
More than likely, 3 or 4 are gonna be like, no, we're good, right? And a couple are gonna be like, yeah, we could really use the help. And those are the 2 you're gonna go after. And then when you do a good job, the other ones are gonna come running and be like, wait a minute. The biggest mistake I see a lot of these developers make is they wait far too long to start advertising the community, right? These guys are gonna wait, and it's their drunk monkey. It's so funny when I'm seeing it. Everyone has one, and they're sitting there going, well, we can't do anything yet because we don't have a model built. I don't give a shit, right? Then all that means, all that means is that we start now documenting what's coming, and get them intrigued now, keep their attention as you're building. But now, 12 months from now, when you do have a model home, we have thousands of people already starting to engage and are aware of the project. And now our marketing from there to actually get stuff sold is so much easier and so much cheaper than waiting 12 months and then saying go. And now you're starting from scratch, right? And it's such a more expensive process. So start now, ease into it, get attention now, create value now, and then it will pay off when you actually are ready to start selling.